In this lesson, we're going to take a look at what happens when you apply too many geometric relations or too many dimensions to a sketch. First, let's take a look at this sketch in the Feature Manager tree. We know the sketch is fully defined because we do not see a dash symbol in front of the Sketch 1. If I right mouse click on Sketch 1 and I select Edit Sketch, notice the sketch is all black, which represents fully defined, and down in the status bar it says fully defined. But what happens if I apply an extra dimension? I'll dimension this horizontal leg at 50. As soon as I place the dimension, I receive a dialog box and the geometry goes yellow. Yellow is bad in SOLIDWORKS. This dialog box is prompting me whether I want to make this dimension driven or leave this dimension driving. Because these two words are so close to one another, many new users find this terminology confusing. I tell my new students to think of a driven dimension as a reference dimension. It's for reference purposes only. It does not control the geometry, or another way to look at it, it does not drive the geometry, where a driving dimension does control or drive the geometry. I'm going to leave this as a driven dimension. Select OK, and then select Escape on the keyboard. Notice driving dimensions are black in color. A driven dimension is gray. I can double click on a driving dimension and change the value. However, I cannot double click on a driven dimension because it does not control the geometry. It does not drive the geometry. Now, why would you place a reference dimension on a sketch? Well, if you needed a dimension for reference purposes, let's say the length of this leg was a number that you wanted to reference. That would be a good use for a reference dimension, which in SOLIDWORKS is what we call a driven dimension. I'm going to go ahead and delete the driven dimension and reapply it, but this time make it a driving dimension, which is going to cause a conflict in the software. So leave this dimension driving, select OK, and immediately the sketch turns yellow. I receive an overdefined message, and notice down here I have red color saying overdefined. Now, I normally tell students when they get an overdefined sketch, the best thing to do is select Undo. Back your sketch up one step, and the overdefined issue disappears. And then sit back and think about what you did to make that sketch overdefined. Now, it may not be as simple as that if the sketches are more complex. So let me go back and add that smart dimension one more time and make it a driving dimension, because SOLIDWORKS does have some built-in diagnostic tools. If I select overdefined, the Property Manager opens with two options, Diagnose and Manual Repair. We'll start with Diagnose. Notice there's 9 possible solutions. It's showing solution 1 right now on the screen. If we remove this vertical relation, it will address the overdefined issue. However, I can look at solution number 2 and just follow the red slash around the screen as I click through the different options. Now, if I want to remove this dimension, I simply select Accept and the dimension is removed. But before I do that, I want to show you the other option. So I'm going to select Overdefined, and this time do the Manual Repair. I can work down this list here, and as I work down the list, I see the different items highlighted on the screen. And by working down this list, I can decide which one needs to be removed. Looks like distance 17 should be deleted. So I'm going to select Delete. The dimension disappears. I'll close out of Sketch Expert, and we are back to fully defined.